Dum 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 dum.
This hit that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one's for my good girls, cause us good girls are straight masterpieces. Styling, wildin', living it up in the city, singing along to my favorite song. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. Olivia, I'm too hot, yeah man. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot, yeah man. Like a summer day in July, man. I'm too hot, yeah man. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot, yeah man. But you know I'm sweeter than honey. Break it down now. Boys, we gon' stick it to ya. Boys, we gon' stick it to ya. Boys, we gon' stick it to ya. Cause Uptown Funk is Setia. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Yeah. Don't believe me, just watch. Yeah. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 hey. Stop. Wait a minute. Break it down. Let me get it. Shake a hip. Break a sweat. Julio, get the stretch. Ride to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop skippy. I'm too hot, yeah man. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot, yeah man. Like a summer day in July, man. I'm too hot, yeah man. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot, yeah man. But you know I'm sweeter than honey. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Yeah. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 hey.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Rasa kesyukuran penuh kehambaan kami persembahkan hanya layak kepadamu ya Allah. Dengan inayah dan rahmat-Mu dapat kami menyusun pertemuan di dalam program Sekolah Penyayang SP Setia di Dewan yang serba megah ini. Maka kurniakanlah pertemuan kami dalam perhimpunan ini dengan keberkatan dan limpahan rahmat-Mu, agar kami memperoleh manfaat dan kebaikan daripadanya, seterusnya terhindar daripada segala bentuk kemungkaran yang tidak Engkau redai. Wahai Tuhan yang Maha Perkasa lagi Maha Bijaksana, jadikanlah pertemuan kami ini dalam program Sekolah Penyayang ini sebagai perintis buat kami untuk terus berusaha demi mencapai objektif yang kami citakan, selaras dengan usaha kami mencapai matlamat membangun modal insan dan membina negara bangsa. Kukuhkanlah ikatan perpaduan di antara kami agar terjamin keamanan dan keselamatan hidup dalam negara yang berbilang Kau ini. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, satukanlah hati-hati kami, eratkanlah silaturahim dan semangat perpaduan di kalangan kami. Hindarkanlah diri kami daripada perasaan keji sesama sendiri, cemburu, nista, buruk sangka, iri hati, meninggi diri dan segala sifat mazmumah yang pastinya boleh memecah belahkan keharmonian hidup dan semangat perpadu kami. Allahumma ya mudabbiral amr wa ya zal jalali wal ikram, kurniakanlah kepada kami dan anak-anak kami jasmani dan rohani yang seimbang, dipandu iman, emosi yang terkawal dipimpin takwa, amarah yang tenang diperhati akal, amal yang istiqamah digenggam keikhlasan. Hindarilah anak-anak kami daripada terjebak sebarang kancah kemaksiatan yang merosakkan, daripada sebarang pegangan dan fahaman yang menyesatkan, dan daripada perbuatan jenayah dan gejala sosial yang memudaratkan. Maka limpahilah hati kami dengan nur hidayah-Mu, agar kami menjadi generasi yang mencintai agama lalu menegakkan syariatnya, generasi yang mencintai bangsa lalu memelihara kehormatannya, generasi yang mencintai negara lalu mempertahankan kedaulatannya. Seterusnya bantulah kami ya Allah bagi menjadi generasi yang cemerlang, gemilang, lagi terbilang, selaras dengan tuntutan syariat-Mu. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana haza jam'an marhuma wa tafarruqna min ba'di tafarruqan ma'suma wa la taj'al Allahumma fina wa la ma'ana wa la ma yatba'una shaqiyya wa la matruda wa la mahruma bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Ladies and gentlemen, everything in the future depends on the present. The future of a country is determined by the young generation. A good nurture is important to ensure they grow up to become holistic individuals. As the saying goes, melentur buluh biarlah dari rebungnya. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, our first guest who will be delivering his speech is the former president of National Union of the Teaching Profession. During his presidency of the National Union of the Teaching Profession, NUTP, Mr. P. Ramanathan fostered effective cooperation between the NUTP and the Education Ministry. He also became one of the 24 council members of Education International, the most influential of the teachers' trade unions in the world. Mr. P. Ramanathan was the initiator who drove contributions by students and educators towards education reconstruction in Bosnia, building the Malaysia School in Bosnia. In 1995, he drove the caring campaign among school children for victims of the Kobe earthquake in Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. P. Ramanathan.
Dr. Mary Yap Kain Ching, Deputy Minister of Education. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Dato' Wan Muhammad Zaid bin Muhammad Nurdin, Chairman of SP Setia Foundation. Yang berbahagia Dato' Ko Chok Jen, Acting President and CEO of SP Setia Berhad. Yang berbahagia Dato' Wang Tak Wai, Acting Deputy President and COO of SP Setia Berhad. Mr. Raymond Yap, Executive Vice President of SP Setia Berhad. Headmasters, headmistresses, beloved teachers, parents, members of the media, students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct privilege and pleasure to be part of the SP Setia Foundation's launch on Caring campaign, Caring School campaign. Never has there been a greater need and urgency than now to reinforce the values of care, love, and mutual respect among children, teachers, and parents, and work together towards forging unity, strengthening solidarity, and creating a caring society. The initiative of SP Setia Foundation is laudable, timely, and also a positive response to the challenges that are faced in schools and in society as a whole. In the 1990s, the then Director General of Education, Tan Sri Wan Zahid bin Muhammad Nurdin, focused on the idea of caring school where love and care took center stage. I'm going to merely share anecdotal referrals, the impact and the number of souls which were touched through activities carried out under the Caring campaign organized by the Ministry of Education in collaboration with the union. The caring concept crossed the borders of Malaysia, and I'm happy that Lian Go, the group editor of Star, is here with us, who was fully involved in this campaign. After the disastrous earthquake in Kobe, Japan, I wrote to my counterpart in Japan and asked him what we could do. Of course, the Japanese didn't want any financial assistance. He wanted me to get students and children to write letters to motivate and to share the grief of the Japanese children in Kobe. Now, in Kobe, in that earthquake in 1995, 5,000 lives were lost, 26 children lost their schools. On hearing this, I discussed it with Tan Sri and the staff, Lian Ho, and we started a caring campaign which lasted for a month, asking children to write letters. The response was overwhelming. Thousands and thousands of letters and postcards were received from our children. We collected them, chose a few of them, and we had 3,000 posters. And in a very simple function in a school in Petalinjaya, we invited the Japanese education attaché from the embassy and presented these 3,000 posters to him, which were distributed to the schools in Kobe. And I went to Japan, I saw these posters in the schools. And I also received one lately from one of the schools from there. That was the impact it had. And this was mentioned by the Japanese leaders in many of the international functions that we have had. Similarly, we had this activity called Promotion for SPJD, Society for the Promotion of Japanese Diplomacy, where the NUTP and the Ministry of Education jointly host every year children from primary schools from Japan, from all the prefectures, which included a 2-day homestay for these children organized by the Ministry of Education. This was a very successful program. Those children have formed an alumni, and when I was in Tokyo, I was invited to go to Nagoya by 2 of those children who came to Malaysia, and they had arranged a traditional welcome in the school, plus hosted a dinner in one of their homes, and I could see them speaking so highly of our children to their friends and to their schoolmates. That was another impact the Caring Society campaign had. And Tan Sri was invited by the Japanese embassy, and he was honored at a function in Kuala Lumpur at the Japanese embassy. The big one was in 1995, I moved a motion to the Union to set up a Bosnian education fund. It was a war-torn country. We read so much about the misery, and every time when there is a catastrophe, there's always this fund for economic development, rebuilding and so on. But never anything particular for education. So I thought it was best that we start a Bosnian Education Fund. And in August 1995, launched it on behalf of the Union. And the then Minister of Education, Dr. Sri Najib, who was present at that function, was given a check, an initial payment of 15,000 ringgit from NUTP. And while discussing with Dr. Sri Najib, he suggested that we could send them stationery, exercise books, bags and other things. On hearing this, Tan Sri was DG at that time, invited me to his office and suggested or proposed whether we could do it jointly with the Ministry of Education and all teacher organizations. I had no objections to that. So we started this Bosnian Education Fund, and within a month we collected close to 4 million ringgit. And this amount was handed over to the then Prime Minister Tun Mahathir at a special function. Tun Mahathir was so moved, overwhelmed by the gesture and the care our children in schools had for children who were in need in a faraway country. And when he was invited to speak, he came up to the rostrum and just said one word. He could not say another word. He was so moved. He was in tears. At last, he had to be escorted back to his chair without saying a word. A man who is never rattled with anything or anybody was so moved by that gesture. And that was the shortest speech by a Prime Minister, I think, ever in the world, where he only started saying that. That was the impact it had. And what happened was, with the help of the Malaysian peacekeeping mission in Bosnia, a school was built with the words to the children of Bosnia from the children of Malaysia. It is a leading school today in Bosnia. When Tun Mahathir visited the school, he was given a tremendous welcome by the school. That is a source of pride for Malaysian children and Malaysian teachers. That was the impact it had. Unfortunately, although Tun Mahathir, the steel man, was moved to tears, it did not move many people who should have followed that concept, carried out the campaign. The problem is some leaders or some assuming a position feel that history starts with them and they all want to leave a mark but end up leaving scars. And I hope that this campaign that we have launched will not end with this campaign but will move ahead. The SP Setia Foundation, launched today, is a national call for national service which needs the involvement and commitment of all stakeholders to play an effective role and contribute towards creating a united nation. We have always prided ourselves as a multiracial, multi-religious, multicultural and multilingual society who live in harmony and care for others. This is in danger now, and failure to act to retain our unity, strengthen our solidarity and values which we cherish will be disastrous and tragic. On December 3rd, 2006, in an interview on Bridge the Gap with Love and Care, this is what Tan Sri once I had said. I quote, "The seeds of unity should be ideally planted at home and nurtured in schools. We Malaysians of whatever ethnic background are a caring people. This is our strength. What is important is that we do not take our unity and harmony for granted. It is a gift that we have to nurture. Let's build up from that." Unquote. I'm only given 10 to 15 minutes. The problem is when you give the mic to a retired man, he would rather give his life up rather than the mic. With SP Setia Foundation leading this campaign, with Yang Berhormat Dato' Meria, an educator of great experience, who knows the pulse of the children and youth, is now in a very elevated position of authority and influence, who herself was very much involved in this caring campaign during her time. And having her as patron of the SP Setia Foundation, and Tan Sri Wan Zaid Muhammad Nurdin, a caring man, a man of class, integrity and character, who never fails to walk the talk for children and education as chairman. This campaign, this initiative, and this tremendous effort by SPCTR Foundation does not have failure as an option. It will succeed. And today, on behalf of the Malaysian Association for Education, the oldest professional organization in this country, started by the late Professor Said Hussein Alatas, later headed by Marshal Ayo Tan Sri Awang Saleh, currently by Professor Dato Ibrahim Bajunaid, took a decision in a meeting 2 weeks back on knowing this launch that the Malaysian Association Education will cooperate, support, collaborate in any form that SP Setia Foundation needs or deems fit. And I, as the General Secretary of the Malaysian Association Education, through SP Setia Foundation, we will offer all our help, and we wish this caring campaign to be successful. And I am more than confident that this campaign will not, and this launch will not be one of those launches. It starts with all the pomp and splendor, but disappear in thin air. This is here to stay, because this is not a new project. This is a project that has been tested and it stood the test of time. And I wish all the very best and also the support. Thank you for your attention.
Years and years ago, I have fond memories of this school. No, I wasn't a student there, but my father was teaching over there. So when I saw the name, wow, it really brought me back to, those days in primary school, carefree, like our kids behind there. Anyway, our next guest has qualifications from 3 universities worldwide. She was one of the pioneers for the new primary school curriculum, or in Malay we say, Curriculum Baru Sekolah Rendah, KBSM. She was appointed by the Ministry of Education for overseas educational conferences and postgraduate studies. And not only that, she has also represented the Ministry of Education at the UNESCO conference. Those are very, very notable achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, may we invite Yang Berbahagia Datin Esther Ho Chin Ping, former principal of SJKC Sunjin, Kuala Lumpur.
This morning we gathered here to talk about caring school. All schools are supposed to be caring school. The caring spirit must be there. But we do not know since when, due to the reason we do not know, or for one or another reason, the entire society, inclusive some of the school, nowadays, they not care too much anymore in Blackhead. So this morning, I would like to encourage all of us to revive the caring spirit. If we have love, there is no fear to care. There was once, I left PBKL building, walking towards the outdoor car park. And as a school principal, there are lots of work in the school. I was in a hurry. So I saw my car from far. I used the remote control to unlock my car. When I went in my car, a man went in my car from the other door at the same time, and he seated beside me, using a long, sharp knife pointing at my side. But very strange, I was not afraid at all. I looked at him. He was a young guy, and I talked to him. I said, "How old are you? You are so young, and you look so nice. Why are you doing this? Don't do this. You go and look look for a job and change your destiny. There are many things you can do, but this is not the thing you should do. Do you have any difficulties? You want to look for a job? I can help you to get a job. I know a lot of friends. I know a lot of people. So I was talking. I think he kept quiet. I guess I have been talking for almost 20 minutes or more than 20 minutes. And then he said, "Give me your necklace." I said, "Huh? After talking to you for so long, you still want my necklace? Don't you understand what I was talking to you?" I said, "Don't do this, because you will end up nowhere. Go and look for a job, and I can get you a job. Can't you understand me?" I went on, and you all should know how headmistress talk, right? So finally, I told him, "You must be very tired and hungry now. Okay, I give you $20. You go and have something to eat, then go back home, take a shower, think it over, call me. This is my number. I will surely help you." So he took the $20 and he left. All my school board of directors and my family members told me, "Don't ever do that anymore. Please." Yeah. I agree with them. But to tell you the truth, I was not doing it purposely. It was a natural response, automatic, not spontaneous without a single thought. My only concern is that this guy is so young. If he continue to do this type of things, he will end up nowhere. And he deserves a bright future. He deserves a good life. And I'm thinking, so maybe because when we have love, we really care, then you do not have fear to care. When I was the senior assistant at SMK Bukit Mewah Seremban, a furious parent, he ignored the school regulation. He went straight to the classroom to look for a teacher. He has cancer background. So as usual, there was some argument. And the student rushed to me and informed me. So I quickly went down. The two of them, they were arguing. So I was very afraid that he might bash the teacher. So, you know what I did? I stood in between the two of them. And the parent was yelling and yelling. I can't speak even a word. Finally, he stopped. Then I spoke. I said, "Sir, actually we care your child very much. You know, we see great potential in him. He's a leader. The students follow him. And he can do great. And he can do a lot of great things. But the question is, what are the things that he is going to do?" So he calmed down. And then I took him to the office. We had a long talk. And I asked him, I said, "What your child going to be in the future depends very much how you and we teach him today. So you have two choices. One, you want him to follow you or let him follow us. By the way, are you happy with your life? You want your child to be like you?" He pondered. In the end, he agreed to surrender his child to us and he promised not to interfere anymore. And in fact, later on, he volunteered himself in helping the school along. So, some senior, headmaster from other schools, they advised me sincerely. Wow, say, you are like the newborn calf, not knowing the danger of a tiger. This is what usually the Chinese say. 初生牛犊不怕虎. You are like a newborn calf, not knowing the danger of a tiger. Next time, angry parent, you invite them to the conference room, or you look for a long table. You make sure you sit at one end of the table and get him to sit on the other end of the table, so that if things heated up, he won't be able to hurt you. So I was thinking, that should be the right thing to do. I think it's wise to do so. But let me tell you frankly, deep inside me, I wish I am forever like the newborn calf, young, confident, brave, courageous, with passion, with enthusiasm, with a lot of dreams, and fear-free, no fear. This is what I wish. I had a boy from a broken family, extremely poor. He needs a lot of attention and help. So I spent a lot of time helping him. He never do his homework, he skipped school, he was caught stealing people's money, people's bicycle. So I spent a lot of time and energy to really, take care of him. But at that time, I didn't see any effect. And then I was transferred. Today, he is a professional engineer, married with a beautiful wife, also an engineer with 3 children, and their life marked with joy and blessings. He told me during one of his visits in one Chinese New Year, when he was Form 3, he skipped school. Roaming around the town. And then from far he saw me walking from my car to the bank. He quickly hid himself and did not move because he was afraid that I might see him. At that slice of time in his life, suddenly he remembered, all those moments that I spent with him. It appeared in his mind, picture after picture. And then he began to ask himself, he began to think, am I really, really so useless and hopeless and incurable and no future? Or I can be like what Pan Ho said, actually I'm smart, I can excel if I want to, if I work hard. He was enlightened at that very moment, and he made the correct decision. He determined to work hard, and he did pretty well in his SPM exam. In fact, he got a scholarship award from Singapore to further his study at the Singapore National University. What I'm trying to say is, sometimes we did so many things and we don't see the result, but it's okay. Just do it and continue to do it. It will not be in vain. And one day, we will see the fruits. Ladies and gentlemen, to care is a habit that we should cultivate since little. We must learn to be sensitive to the needs of others and do something about it. Especially let our children immerse in the bath of love and experience for themselves the delightful feeling when they are cared for. This pleasant experience will form the right trajectory in the children's positive growth. and they will have the courage to overcome difficulties, for they will not feel that they are alone. And best of all, they will pick up the good habit to care for others, and at the same time also to enjoy the delightful feeling or the kind of satisfaction as they care for others. This is how we promote the caring concept, or we cultivate the caring values to the children. Recently, we find that there are lots of young persons giving up their lives so easily. They ended their lives because they failed to see or to see or to experience the care of the parents, especially, and also all others around them. The care for them. They fail to experience that, and they ended their life so easily. So, a child's heart is, everything begins with the heart, I'm thinking. But what are the things that we planted in the small little hearts of the children? Confidence, hope, dream, passion, love and care, or a cold, dark world that is lonely, helpless, and lost? Let us make a difference today with these little hearts. Touch them with our care and love, and let these beautiful moments be written on their hearts. Whatever challenges they face in the future, they can always look back, remembering the care we shown them, and take courage to walk the next step. Just do it, and do it without any fear. And believing that if we do something that is genuinely good, morally right, professionally sound, people will support, and God will make it accomplished. Thank you very much.
Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Tan Sri Dr. Wan Muhammad Zahid Muhammad Modi.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. Yang berhormat Datuk Mary Yap Kencing, Deputy Minister of Education. Yang berbahagia Datuk Kor Chap Jen, Acting President and CEO of SP Setia Berhad. Yang berbahagia Datuk Wong Tak Wai, Acting Deputy President and COO of SP Setia Berhad. Mr. Raymond Yap, Executive Vice President of SP Setia Berhad. Yang berbahagia Datin Ho Chin Pin, former Guru Besar SJKC Sun Jin. Lian Go, Group Editor, The Star Publication, headmasters and headmistresses, beloved teachers, parents, members of the media, and students. Saya manjat syukur Allah SWT atas lebih limpah izinnya kita dapat berada di sini. Saya ingin mengalu-alukan semua dedek yang datang pada pagi ini, terutama anak-anak daripada sekolah-sekolah di bawah SP Setia Caring School Program, dan saya juga hendak mengalu-alukan kehadiran guru besar, guru-guru daripada lebih daripada 30 buah sekolah dari seluruh Malaysia yang datang ke sini, yang mendekat dan juga daripada Pulau Pinang, juga daripada Sabah dan Sarawak. Terima kasih kerana sudi datang pada pagi ini ke tempat SP Setia Berhad. Dan walaupun kita ada 3 buah sekolah dalam program SP Setia Berhad, tapi hari ini itulah kita dapat satu family yang lebih besar. Terima kasih kepada Yang Berhormat Mary Yap. Our family is getting bigger. Perhaps after this launch, our family will still become bigger. And I think there is no limit to love and care. We extend love and care to everybody, and everybody who wants to join us are welcome. But as far as SP Setia Berhad, we want to start small. We want to be rather very modest, and after that, we let the engine of care and love have its own momentum, and perhaps before the end of the year, we have many more will join the SP Setia Berhad, SP Setia Foundation in this caring campaign. I would like to extend a very special welcome and gratitude on behalf of SP Setia Foundation to our guest of honor, YB Datuk Mary Yap, who have graciously accepted our invitation to be patron of the Setia Caring School Program, and for taking time out of a busy schedule to be with us this morning. Thank you, YB Datuk. You're really great. To tell you a secret, I started wooing Datuk Mary Yap so that she will join and grace us with her presence to be our patron. I told her, rather confidentially, we said that we want no other except YB Datuk Mary Yap, because we know her dynamism can carry this far, and also she is a great educator. And I was praying, I told her, YB, we need you. And so when I wrote the letter, I held my breath. I said, YB, but she said that she got to get the go-ahead from the Deputy Prime Minister, who is Minister of Education. And thank God, she called me one day and said, give us the good news. I am good. I'm happy to be your patron. Welcome, YB. Thank you very much. I'd like also to take this opportunity to welcome actually I call her my sister, because I know her many years ago. And our bond of friendship has always been very strong. Datin Ho Chin Pin, who was once Guru Besar, Sekolah Jenis Kebahasaan Sunjin. She was also one of those people who really supported this caring campaign and made it really happen. So when I sent the invitation to her, she said, yes, wherever I am, I'll always be there. And she came back from Melbourne to be with us this morning. So thank you very much, Datin. You make our day. I mean, shows caring in its best manifestation. You know, she wants to be here to share the spirit, even wherever she is. She always said that, we're very careful. Well, I will not promise, because I'm overseas. And I don't blame her when she cannot get back. There might be plane delays or some other commitments and all that. But here she is today, and she gave a wonderful speech. Thank you very much, Datin. And also to take opportunity, even though in absentia, to thank my dearest friend, P. Ramanathan, who was a former president of the biggest teachers union of Malaysia, the NUTP. And as you know, teachers union being union, they can never see eye to eye. with establishment. But one day I called him. I said, Rama, you need not go through that old tradition where we are adversarial. We can be friends, we can talk together and do things together. And I think Rama had a great heart and was prepared to see new things and all that. When he came, we talked over and we became good friends. We never had problem with the union. And it was thanks to Rama. I can see how he spoke with sincerity, with so much of passion in him as an educator. He has to leave us because a very dear friend passed on and he had to attend the ceremony, which is going to take place about 12 p.m. and that's why he had to leave us. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past 15 years, SP Setia Foundation remained true to its goal of fulfilling its social responsibility, to lend a helping hand to fellow Malaysians in need, touching the hearts of many who are underprivileged, especially in the field of education. Today, in our continuous quest to nurture our community, especially our young ones, to uplift the moral of our society and to enhance national unity, we are proud to launch the Setia Caring School program. The Caring School program was introduced way back, as you know, in 1995, to a very encouraging response from parents, teachers, communities at large throughout Malaysia. Thus, it is gratifying to note that SP Setia Foundation has taken the initiative. It is not me, it is SP Setia Foundation, the passionate people here, to resurrect this noble idea of caring from their own perspectives. We at SP Setia Foundation intend to add a new dimension to the program with the trademark SP Setia touch to elevate the idea of caring to new heights. I have no doubt that this will be realized. The idea of resurrecting the Caring School program was brought about approximately 4 months ago by a team of like-minded people at SP Setia Foundation who shared great passion for providing a nurturing environment for our young minds. We truly believe that whilst making quality education accessible to all children, it is also our responsibility to nurture our children, to enable them to grow up rooted in good moral values, being emphatic and having understanding, especially to those who are different from themselves, and learning to grow in harmony and peacefully in our multiracial society. We believe that the Foundation's amazing work all these years has laid a solid groundwork for us to lift our efforts beyond merely ensuring quality education, to pursue a much larger goal, namely to provide an all-encompassing education to our children, an education experience which not only builds students intellectually, but future leaders who are morally upright. As they say, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step forward. To kickstart the program, we are honored to be working with teachers and students from Sekolah Kebangsaan Jalan Tap, Persiaran Hamzah Alam. Where are they? Sikit-sikit. Let's welcome them. Selamat datang. Terima kasih kerana hadir pada pagi ini. SJKC Lee Min. SJKC Lee Min. Where are you? Selamat datang. Terima kasih. And SJKT Ladang Emerald. And where are you? Ladang Emerald. Well done. Thank you very much. Terima kasih kerana hadir pada pagi ini. Of course, as the program progresses, we'll be adopting more schools, especially underperforming schools, which lack physical and non-physical facilities to produce high achievers. We also pledge to focus our tender, loving care attention towards these students, trying our best to understand them, help them, nurture them, listen to them, and making sure that they feel loved and cared for, so that they trust us enough to open up to us and work with us to create a better future for themselves and for Malaysia. To sow the seeds of caring, trust and responsibility, we will give each student an egg. And that egg must be cared and looked after. There is a reason why we give that egg to every of the children in all these 3 schools. Of course, this egg will make sure they are signed off, because we do not want later to break and replace with another egg. This egg is the SP Setia egg with signature. And they will have to look after this egg for a period of time which will be stipulated. They must look after it because it is a symbol of many things that we want our young children to understand. It is only by doing that they can understand. It's not by words. Words, as they say, enter here, come out here. But by giving something to them, the egg, hopefully they will understand the meaning of trust. In a sense of, a manner of speaking, it is a giving of trust to the future. It is the future of the country given to young children right now and putting that into their hands. They will always look after it, and they have to carry it along wherever they go, except when playing football, of course. Now, don't take the egg when you're playing football. Jangan bawa telur-telur itu masa main sukan. But they will have to take, because you carry the responsibility all along with you. You do not take the responsibility and put it somewhere. Sometimes it happens in our society. They put that responsibility. That's why probably we might be having problems now. We want them, these young children, to demonstrate to the Malaysians at large that they care, they love, they have this sense of responsibility. And it is this that we want to nurture. There will not be any punishment if you break the egg. But I think they will feel it themselves if they were to break the trust that we give them. This is the beginning of the journey towards care, towards responsibility, towards national harmony. And this is a very big thing in it. And we will have many other activities to nurture that. We also want to nurture in them that care for the small things. Sometimes people don't care for the small things because big people don't look down. Only people down there look up. And when they look up, nobody looks at them. We want to tell them, we at SPCL, we look at them, we care for them. These 3 schools, God willing, will be enlarged to many schools. We want to teach the children that as they walk, because if the children feel they are small compared to the teachers, but there are other smaller things, the ants. We want to teach them in schools, when you walk, also look down. All these little things, because they are also living things. When you start caring for these small things, then when you grow up, you'll become a very well-balanced and harmonious person. And that is the idea of our initiative. I feel very privileged in it. And I just cannot say how to express my admiration for the team Setia in SP Setia. They latch on to the idea so fast. And they said that, why not? Why not? Why don't we do it? And that's how we started this caring program. And it has reached this momentum today. So for SP Setia Foundation, this is indeed a very momentous occasion for us all. So, thank you, Team Setia. Well done to you all. With that, I thank every one of you again for all your time and efforts in supporting the Setia Caring Program, and above all, a big thank you to Yang Berhormat Datuk Mary for consenting to grace the occasion with your eminent presence. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you.
Yang Berhormat Datuk Mary Yak Kencing.
Thank you very much to our very eloquent and confident MC for the day. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera, salam satu Malaysia. Diucapkan kepada Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Dr. Wan Muhammad Zahid bin Muhammad Nordin, Chairman SP Setia Foundation, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Ko Chap Cheng, Acting President and CEO of SP Setia Berhad, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Wong Tak Wai, Acting Deputy President and COO of SP Setia Berhad, Mr. Raymond Yap, Executive Vice President of SP Setia Berhad, Tuan Haji Muhammad Mahmudin bin Bakri, Representative of the Director of the Selangor State Education Department, Puan Hajah Atlia, Officer at the Klang District Education Office, Ms. Lian Go from the Star Publication, Datin Esther Ho, a remarkable former headmistress of SJKC, Sun Jin, headmasters, headmistresses, beloved teachers and students, parents, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Bersama-sama kita melahirkan kesyukuran kerana pada pagi ini kita dapat berkumpul di Dewan yang begitu ceria pada hari ini untuk menghadiri satu peristiwa yang begitu bermakna. Tan Sri, as the door opened for us to enter, for one moment I thought it was an Oscars award ceremony. Thank you very much for the very sophisticated welcome, and I thank Setia for inviting me to be the patron of the Setia Caring School program. It didn't take me too long for me to agree in principle with Tan Sri once I had coming to my office expressing this invitation. When he wrote to me officially, I had to get the blessing from Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, our Deputy Prime Minister, who is also the Minister of Education. I caught him at the right moment before the arrival of the Prime Minister, who was going to launch the blueprint for higher education. I told him that I had received an invitation from Tan Sri, Wan Zahid, and the mere mention of Tan Sri Wan Zahid's name brought a positive comment from him, and he said, "Oh yes." But he cautioned me and said that it must be a program that is very much related to the philosophy of education, which indeed I told him is very much related to the philosophy of education, because we are definitely keen on producing educated students and not learned students only. It is pointless to groom students with all the A's, but without manners, without the soft skills, or without values. And I assured Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri that under the dynamic and visionary leadership of Tan Sri Wan Zahid, this caring program for the school is definitely going to be very beneficial to our students. Lo and behold, after 2 days, I got the official blessing from Yang Amat Muhammad Tan Sri Muhyiddin, where he wrote the few precious words, Tiada Halangan. So here I am today. Tan Sri, Datuk, Datin, ladies and gentlemen, education plays a vital role in our pursuit of economic growth and national development. To remain relevant in today's competitive economy, our country's success depends primarily on the knowledge, skills, and competencies of our people. More accurately, our children, and that is our future generation. However, being equipped with only academic competencies and skills will not be sufficient, as I mentioned just now. I'm glad that 3 schools are being chosen, and they consist of an SK, an SJKC, and an SJKT, which symbolizes the multi-ethnic group that we have in our country. I remember discussing this with Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri one side, that I would like to see schools of different types participating in this program. And indeed, he has chosen 3 different schools. Another important aspect here is looking at the number of schools that Tan Sri said we are starting small. It doesn't really matter. What is important is we get it started. And I think Tan Sri came to see me, that was about a month ago. And within a month, the Setia Caring School Program has materialized, and we see the launch today. In a Malay proverb where it says, "Sikit-sikit menjadi bukit," I am confident that this particular program is going to be a mountain of caring schools throughout the country. I would like to also share with you that the concept of caring school was actually the baby or the brainchild of Tan Sri Wan Zai during the time when he was the Director General. And I know Tan Sri very well because I've served under him. And the Caring School program had brought a lot of positive impact, only to find that it died a natural death after he left. But I'm indeed very happy and proud this morning to find that he has brought this concept back, and it is going to be a great success, as I can see, because I'm speaking from experience as a former teacher and then as a former principal. The tender loving care was one of the practices that I had carried out, and it had brought meaningful impact to my students, and not only my students, to my teachers and support staff as well. In the year 2005, this concept of Caring School program had started for SJKC in the office of the Deputy Minister of Education. And the Deputy Minister of Education who started this program was Datuk Hon Chun Kim. Today, the program has continued, and my 2 officers, Mr. Ng Bun King and Madam Chong Sui Chu, have been actively participating in this program. Can you just stand up, Mr. Ng and Madam Chong, and give them a round of applause? They have been actively engaged engaged in this program, and I've been invited to a number of functions conducted or organized by the schooling, by the SJKC that have adopted the program. And I could see the difference in the leadership of the headmasters or the headmistresses here. And today I am also pleasantly surprised to know that about 20 headmasters or headmistresses of the Caring School in SJKC are here to support this very noble cause. Let's give them a round of applause, and please wave your hands wherever you are sitting. Thank you very much. Tan Sri, I would think that this calls for a collaboration, and I would like to see the Caring Skill program in SJKC to work together very closely with Setia Caring School program in terms of the sharing of expertise, sharing of facilities even, and sharing of success stories or the best practices. I'm glad to participate in such a constructive platform as your patron, forming this strategic three-way partnership among the ministry, the schools, and the private sectors, where we come together and join hands for our children's a brighter future. And this is very much in line with UNESCO's objectives of education for all, and every child matters. Like the saying goes, united we stand, divided we fall. And with the support and the backing of the three parties that I've mentioned, I am sure the Caring School program pledged to organize more activities incorporating the caring theme so that the serving students will receive equal opportunities. Tan Sri, as the door opened for us to enter, for one moment I thought it was an Oscars award ceremony. Thank you very much for the very sophisticated welcome. And I thank Setia for inviting me to be the patron of the Setia Caring School program. It didn't take me too long for me to agree in principle with Tan Sri once I coming to my office expressing this invitation. When he wrote to me officially, I had to get the blessing from Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, our Deputy Prime Minister, who is also the Minister of Education. I caught him at the right moment before the arrival of the Prime Minister, who was going to launch the blueprint for higher education. I told him that I'd received an invitation from Tan Sri, Wan Zahid, and the mere mention of Tan Sri Wan Zahid's name brought a positive comment from him, and he said, "Oh yes." But he cautioned me and said that it must be a program that is very much related to the philosophy of education, which indeed I told him is very much related to the philosophy of education, because we are definitely keen on producing educated students and not learned students only. It is pointless to groom students with all the A's, but without manners, without the soft skills, or without values. And I assured Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri that under the dynamic and visionary leadership of Tan Sri Wan Zahid, this caring program for the school is definitely going to be very beneficial to our students. Lo and behold, after 2 days, I got the official blessing from Ya Ahmad Muhammad Tan Sri Muhyiddin, where he wrote the few precious words, Tiada Halangan. So here I am today. Tan Sri, Dato, Datin, ladies and gentlemen, education plays a vital role in our pursuit of economic growth and national development. To remain relevant in today's competitive economy, our country's success depends primarily on the knowledge, skills, and competencies of our people. More accurately, our children, and that is our future generation. However, being equipped with only academic competencies and skills will not be sufficient, as I mentioned just now. I'm glad that 3 schools are being chosen, and they consist of an SK, an SJKC, and an SJKT, which symbolizes the multi-ethnic group that we have in our country. I remember discussing this with young Berbahagia Tan Sri Wan Zaid, that I would like to see schools of different types participating in this program. And indeed, he has chosen 3 different schools. Another important aspect here is looking at the number of schools that Tan Sri said we are starting small. It doesn't really matter. What is important is we get it started. And I think Tan Sri came to see me, that was about a month ago. And within a month, Setia Caring School Program has materialized, and we see the launch today. In a Malay proverb where it says, "Sikit-sikit menjadi bukit," I am confident that this particular program is going to be a mountain of caring schools throughout the country. I would like to also share with you that the concept of caring school was actually the baby or the brainchild of Tan Sri Wan Zaid during the time when he was the Director General. And I know Tan Sri very well because I've served under him. And the Caring School program had brought a lot of positive impact, only to find that it died a natural death after he left. But I'm indeed very happy and proud this morning to find that he has brought this concept back, and it is going to be a great success, as I can see, because I'm speaking from experience as a former teacher and then as a former principal. The tender loving care was one of the practices that I had carried out, and it had brought meaningful impact to my students, and not only my students, to my teachers and support staff as well. In the year 2005, this concept of Caring School program had started for SJKC in the office of the Deputy Minister of Education. And the Deputy Minister of Education who started this program was Dato Hon Chun Kim. Today, the program has continued, and my 2 officers, Mr. Ng Bun King and Madam Chong Sui Chu, have been actively participating in this program. Can you just stand up, Mr. Ng and Madam Chong, and give them a round of applause? They have been actively engaged in this program, and I've been invited to a number of functions conducted or organized by the by the SJKC that have adopted the program. And I could see the difference in the leadership of the headmasters or the headmistresses here. And today I am also pleasantly surprised to know that about 20 headmasters or headmistresses of the Caring School in SJKC are here to support this very noble cause. Let's give them a round of applause, and please wave your hands wherever you are sitting. Thank you very much. Tan Sri, I would think that this calls for a collaboration, and I would like to see the Caring School program in SJKC to work together very closely with Setia Caring School program in terms of the sharing of expertise, sharing of facilities even, and sharing of success stories or the best practices. I'm glad to participate in such a constructive platform as your patron, forming this strategic three-way partnership among the ministry, the schools, and the private sectors, where we come together and join hands for our children's a brighter future. And this is very much in line with UNESCO's objectives of education for all, and every child matters. Like the saying goes, united we stand, divided we fall. And with the support and the backing of the three parties that I've mentioned, I am sure the Caring School program pledge to organize more activities incorporating the caring theme so that the serving students will receive equal opportunities. Kepada sekolah-sekolah yang terlibat dalam program Sekolah Penyayang, rasalah amat bersyukur kerana saya memang tahu bahawa Setia atau SP Setia Foundation akan menyediakan kebanyakan program untuk membawa manfaat kepada adik-adik pelajar. Jadi, ambillah peluang ini untuk memajukan sekolah dan untuk memajukan diri sendiri juga. Dan saya berharap kerjasama dan sokongan terus diberikan kepada SP Setia dari guru besar dan Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Selangor. Dan saya berharap bahawa program ini akan diperluaskan kepada negeri-negeri yang lain. Before I conclude, I would like to take this opportunity to applaud SP Setia Foundation for adopting this selfless program to enhance the quality of our students and in the process foster national unity. Let's give SP Setia Foundation, under the capable leadership of Tan Sri Wan Zaid, a round of applause. It is my personal wish, ladies and gentlemen, to see more private sectors take up initiatives which will lend to similar cause, and together we build a stronger nation. It is with great pleasure that I officiate the launch of the Setia Caring School program. Team Setia, Boleh! Thank you and have a nice day.
So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the all boys dance troupe from SJKC Limin.
di SDG di Ladang Balang Barossa, I saw many delicate hand and feet movements there.
Kami doakan
Thank you to our very amazing magician. Ladies and gentlemen, today marks the first step of 1,000 more. Ladies and gentlemen, may we invite our distinguished guest, Yang Berhormat Datuk Mariak Kencing, Deputy Minister of Education, and also Tan Sri Datuk Dr. Wan Muhammad Zahid bin Muhammad Nordin, Chairman of SP Setia Foundation, on stage to officiate our very meaningful program for today.
Careful. Thank you so much. Just
Great.
careful. My step, sir. All right. You guys going to stand just stand over here. Okay. I'm going to do something really special. Music, please. One, two, three. Wow, bang! Oh, no. How do you think about the band? Cute? Sir, you? Beautiful! Alright, so as you guys can see, I have actually a props over here. So now I need you guys to do a magical gesture when I reveal the curtain. Just do something like in this way, like this. Like this. Okay? Okay, and then make sure nothing like a magician. Okay? Okay, hold on. Okay, so now I'm gonna reveal the curtain. Okay? And I'm gonna place it back over here. So our dearly VIP, you just do this for, alright? Ready? Music! One, two, three! Wow! careful, alright? Yeah, very good, that's good. Thank you, our magician here, alright.
Ladies, yes, that's very interesting. To our dear magician, that was a very mesmerizing trick by you. Well, even though he's big, he's still cute, ladies and gentlemen, and this marks the officiation of the Setia Caring School program by SP Setia Foundation. This is the very first step of 1,000 more. This is an ongoing effort by SP Setia Foundation to nurture our younger generation so that they grow up to become holistic individuals.
Now, we would like to invite Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Dato Dr. Wan Muhammad Zahid bin Muhammad Nordin to present a miniature version of our mascot to Yang Berhormat Dato Mary Yang as a token of appreciation. Cute little boys and girls on stage now. They are the famous faces that we can see on the booklet for our Setia Caring School program launch today.
Don't believe it, just watch. Yeah. Don't believe it, just watch. Don't believe it, just watch. Don't believe it, just watch. Don't believe it, just watch.
So have a good day everyone and goodbye.
Goodbye, have a nice day ahead.